Hey, everybody, this is your warlord of weird, Sin Bodhi, and you're listening to Count It Out with Tyler and Mike and Cookie.
Listening to Count It Out with Mike and Tyler.
Well, we are live, pals, and welcome to another edition of the Bill Apter Seal Approved Count It Out with Mike and Tyler. My name is Tyler. I am joined, as always, by the one and only Mike. And Mike, I got a question for you right now. Are you ready to light it up on this episode of Count It Out with Mike and Tyler?
I am. You know why?
Why?
Because that's how I roll.
Oh, I see what you did there. You put both of them. You put my opening talking point in with our main show focus point. Wow. It's like we've done this before.
We both watch wrestling.
Sometimes.
All right, my peep. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just happy that you called me your peep and not your lovely or whatever the hell you've been saying the last couple weeks.
The night is young, sir.
Well, let's talk about the premise of the show here first, and then we're going to talk a little wrestling news, and then we're going to talk about our top 7 list. So you've read an interesting quote about Christian Cage, and I'd love for you to tell me what motivated this week's episode for you.
We're going to talk a little CLB this week.
Yeah, old Blueface.
For a couple good reasons, man. Number one, we're getting real close to All Out in Toronto, where of course we're going to see the reuniting Edge and Christian. But Christian very recently was on. I wish I wrote down the name of the podcast. I forgive me anyone for not crediting the podcast. But whatever show he was on, he said this, and I quote Christian Cage. This is without a doubt my greatest run. Did I see it happening? No, but I did. Like I said, when I got my career after being gone for 7 years, I wasn't coming back to do a greatest hits tour. I was coming back to be the best. And these are the standards I hold myself to. So basically he's saying that what he's doing right now in AEW is the best stuff he's ever done in his career. Now that's a debate, I think.
That was with Yahoo Sports, by the way.
Thank you very much. I think that there's something to be talked about here, because I think a lot of people might agree with it. I think a lot of people, and I'll discuss whether or not I agree with them later on, because I'm going to do this in list format today. But a lot of people might think that his TNA stuff is the best stuff he did in his career. Some people might think that ENC is the best stuff he did in his career. So it's Christian is that guy that, because he was always never the guy, people don't talk about him as a guy. But let's fucking talk about him, because Christian is someone that needs to be talked about. Christian's career is that of legendary status. I don't think anybody can take that away from him. And whether or not, and I'll get to this later, whether or not I think what he's doing right now is the best in his career doesn't matter. But what he's doing is amazing. He has been one of the top 3, if not the greatest heel in professional wrestling for the last, 3 years at least?
Yeah. Is it fair to say that Christian might be one of the most overlooked, and I don't want to use the word underrated, wrestlers of all time?
I don't think he's underrated, but overlooked, I think, is a very good word.
Like, I just feel like when we talk about like all the greatest wrestlers in, every company's history, like, obviously you're going to have your big dogs, like your Takers and your whoever's, your Austins and Rocks and whatever. But I think that Christian is a top in the WWE. Probably he's a top 50 performer of all time. Easily, right? I
wouldn't argue that. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that.
I think in TNA, he's probably a top 10 performer of all time, maybe a top 15.
It's a little tougher, but
And I would say 15. this. I would say the same thing in AEW as well. I think he's a top 10 to 15 performer in AEW
now,
as well.
When we say performer, we're giving the full scope here,
like full body of work.
the full body of work. Top 10, I'd say, for AEW. Just, and I might be biased there
Well,
because
yeah,
because
and you know, do you like the comment I made to you when you
I
suggested this
loved it
idea?
when you said that to me. You're like, if we're gonna have this conversation, you actually have to watch AEW. Well, here's the thing, when something piques my interest, I do go check it out. I don't watch full AEW shows, but I will check things out. I always check out what Christian Cage is doing, always, because his promo work is the best he's doing in his career right now.
Yeah.
His promo work. He said something else that might have been on the same podcast. I'm not sure, but he said something about Christian Cage. He said Christian Cage was never in WWE. You've never seen Christian Cage in WWE. He goes, Christian and Christian Cage are two very different people. Christian is a character that I was asked to play, and I played well. Christian Cage is who I want to be. And I thought that was really,
Do,
really interesting.
do you have a, see, I find that interesting too, because I don't see huge differences between the two characters. I do now, but like in his TNA run and WWE run, I didn't see very many differences.
No, because he was still doing that. What was the difference between the Christian Coalition and like the Peeps? You know what I
Nothing.
mean? Nothing.
Do you have a
He worked
favorite,
with Tomko in both.
do you have a favorite era of Christian?
As you know, and I've said this multiple times in the show, I am a massive ENC fan. So, watching their original run, their first like 99 to whatever, or 98, I should say, to whatever run, that's still special to me. But I love his early TNA stuff. I love his time as NWA champion. I wasn't big on the whole him and Tomko thing, but
Yeah,
the
I
majority of the
liked
stuff he did in TNA, I loved.
I liked him and Tomko in WWE a lot.
But I love what he's doing now. I love the Un-Americans. I'm not going to lie about that.
Yeah,
I love the stuff he did with Jericho.
yeah.
Him and Jericho. Oh, the stuff they did with Christian, with Trish, and everything they did with
Mhm.
both their tag team and their rivalry. Uh, there's so much to love about Christian's career.
I like that era. I guess it was about the year WrestleMania 20 when he was getting that heel push or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And right when he was like getting ready to start feuding with John Cena. I guess
Yep.
it would have been around WrestleMania 21-ish, give or take. And I'll never forget like the Royal Rumble skit that he did when John Cena came in the room.
Is that
And
is that the rapping?
yeah, and
Yeah,
he's like, Tomko, give me a beat. Like that's
yeah.
my favorite line. Tom's
That's
just like, no. Like that's my favorite. It's one of my favorite Christian lines of all time. But that
there's
feud
that.
with Cena was really, really good.
There's at least two promos where he rapped. There's one in the backstage, and there was one in the ring where there was a bunch of Triple H. He made a comment about Triple H's nose. You remember that one?
Kind of, yeah. I remember
Yeah,
the kazoos. The kazoos were great.
the kazoos were hilarious. The stuff ENC did with Kurt Angle always makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, their
You
five
know?
second poses. Those
Yeah,
promos were great. And I think that's where you need to look at Christian and you take a step back and look at him as a performer.
yeah.
He can do anything
Anything.
and do it well. He
He's
can be a
funny.
serious heel like we're seeing
Mhm.
now. He can
Yeah,
be a comedy heel or babyface or heel like he's done in the past. He can be a workhorse if you need him to be. And at the age of, I believe he's 51 years old now.
51. Mhm.
He is not slowed down a second. He has not lost a step in the ring. Like,
Especially being away from the ring for 7 years.
and that's a
And I
huge
don't
moment
mean
too.
and I don't mean being away from TV for 7 years.
Mhm.
He didn't step foot. There was no training. There was no, he was out of the ring for 7 years.
Yeah,
Like that's a long time.
I do think that there was a huge missed opportunity with the WWE when he first came back at that Royal Rumble.
We're definitely going to talk about that for sure. But
Because I think that they missed out on a dream match that made sense. And if you remember, it was COVID time when Christian came back,
yep.
which I'm sure we'll talk about, so I won't go into detail on that. But Edge won that Royal Rumble that year, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And Edge went on to face Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. But at the time, it was supposed to be Edge and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. How did the WWE not do Edge and Christian versus the Usos at the February pay-per-view? How do you miss
I agree.
that? How do
Yeah,
you miss that? That's so
I agree.
huge, right? But alas, we do get the reunion of Edge and Christian. It has happened now. Edge and Christian and
And
FTR, I'm very excited about.
you want to talk about how good of a performer is. I think you alluded to this on the show last week. It might have been a personal conversation, but I think you said it on the show. Um, this shows how good of a performer this guy is, where he has now become, instead of the greatest heel in the company, one of the biggest baby faces in the company, and he didn't change a goddamn thing.
Yep.
Nothing.
Yep.
He acts the same. He doesn't do anything. He just knows he's so good he can turn that same thing into getting cheers. Only certain people can do that. There are people in WWE who are able to do that. I think MJF is a good
Oh
person in
man,
AEW
when
who's able to do
MJF
that.
was the asshole babyface, it was
Yeah.
humongous. It made our top 7 year end list, right?
I think that the greatest pioneer of that kind of style was probably Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah,
He
he
was
was the most
he was the
organic. He
he
was
was
the
the
most
first guy to
organic.
really move into that role without changing his style at all. And then
Hmm.
people started saying, "Hey, there's something there." And
Oh
now
hell yeah.
you see it all the time now, but not everybody can do it perfectly. Christian, this is flawless.
Do
This
you
is just
think
flawless.
do you think that at both of their stages of their career right now that Christian is the more interesting and entertaining performer than Edge?
For the first time in 30 years, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
I
I'm
I don't
not
know what.
vibing with Cope.
No,
I'm not
I
vibing with Cope.
that's it. There's a lot of decisions. And listen, man, if he's having fun, fucking A. I'm happy
Mm.
for him. I want him. Just this is the
He's
way he
earned it.
deserves.
He has
This
earned this.
listen. If he's gonna wrap up his career for the second time, I want him to do it on his terms. So if this is the way he wants to go out, fucking A. But as a fan, as a fan, I'm not like I'll just quote your words. I'm not vibing with Cope. I'm not
Yeah,
digging. I'm not digging his legend T-shirt. I think it looks stupid. I think it looks silly.
with the edge in the middle of it.
Yeah,
It's clever. It is clever
it's
though.
clever, but it looks just as silly as. Remember when Paul White showed up and he's wearing a shirt that says "No More BS." It's clever, but it's still kind of stupid. It looked dumb,
Yeah.
and this shirt looks dumb.
Um, I just I think he's leaning a little too heavy into the corny dad jokes. Like to me, when I watch Cope
But I
come
think,
out,
but that's his personality.
that's who he is in real life. I
I you know
100%, and I
I
love
know
that for
I
him.
know you used to listen to his podcast as well.
Yeah, and
That's who he is.
it's really funny in that setting. Like I listen, man, I am all about the corny dad stuff. Like I
Mhm.
love corny dad jokes. I love corny bullshit. Like I just think it doesn't transition with the AEW product.
But I
I
do
just it's
think it's
not
kind of a funny thing to have Mr. Dad joke teaming up with Mr. Surrogate Dad. like
fair
like
enough.
him being with the father figure is pretty funny.
It is funny, and their chemistry has not missed a beat ever,
Oh
and
no.
never
Yeah.
will. So
No.
I want to talk to you about a conversation I had with our one of our good friends of the show, Stephen Bourne. He sent me a message a couple days ago as we record this, maybe about a week ago, and he said, "Hey," he goes, "There's a lot of rumors that Edge's contract is up at the end of the year. Possibly could see him come back to WWE." He
Did we
goes,
not talk about this just last week?
so he asked how I would feel about having Edge come back to be John Cena's final opponent and for that to be both of their retirement matches.
Okay. Are
So
you looking for my answer first
I'll
or
I'll take your take on it first before I give my response to it because I
I
don't hate the idea, but
I
I have
don't
a but.
I don't like it. And I'll tell you why I don't like it. This isn't supposed to be a double story. This is supposed to be John Cena's story.
Mhm.
He's worked hard for this all year. This has been his story from it can't end with it being John and Edge's story. It just can't. It's not fair to John.
I don't think
So
it's
for
fair
that
to
reason alone, I don't like it.
I don't think it's fair to Edge in all honesty because no one's going to be talking about it.
No.
Right? This is the John Cena retirement show. I do not hate seeing Edge as John's last opponent, maybe. I do
I
not
don't hate
hate
that, but don't I
I
but
don't hate seeing Edge involved like back in W. I would love to see Edge return to WWE.
yeah.
Um
I'd like them to come back with Christian because I'd like to see him inducted into the Hall of Fame.
I don't think
Um,
Christian's coming back anytime soon.
I don't think so either, but I would like to see that happen. But if Edge was to just come back, like I said last week, I don't even care to see him wrestle. If he does, awesome. But if not, just to see him and John in the ring, face to face, they have one of my favorite grudges of all time. Like their story is legendary.
What
They
do you
were WWE in 2006.
sticking with the John Cena retirement stuff then? Because we're going to come back to Christian later in the show. Um, Rob Van Dam was in the news this week stating that he was very, very close to being one of John Cena's last opponents. Not the final opponent, but one of his opponents on this run. And
Mm-hmm.
it fell apart because he broke both of his heels at that MLW show.
Mm.
What are your thoughts about that? Would you have any interest to see RVD and John Cena one more time?
At the moment, my opinion on RVD is it's not exactly the way it was a few years ago when we had him gracefully on the show. He's made some comments recently that really, really, really turned me around on RVD. So
You know he's just doing it for clickbait, right?
right now, I don't care to see RVD anywhere. Anybody who defends that piece of shit Jackson is not in my good books right now.
Did
But
did you see what he does though? Like Rob will put it, this is what he does. And I listen, I think he's doing a lot of working to get some clicks here because he did the same thing with Matt Riddle recently.
okay,
He just puts out a tweet that says, "I'm on the bad person's side."
yeah,
And then he's like, "Tune into my podcast and I'll explain why." And
right.
then you tune into his podcast, he's like, "Well, like I understand how we got here. I don't agree with it." Like, so it's like very
All
like
right.
shifty, right?
And I guess I didn't do my due diligence because as soon as he said I'm on I don't even know the guy's real name. I'm on Jackson's side. Tune into my show. Well, as soon as you say I'm on Jackson's side, I didn't tune in. I
Yeah.
don't care what your reasoning is. So his idea, his trick didn't work for me.
No, but I think it worked for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But so I'm giving Rob more the benefit of the doubt there just because I think he's listen, all
Now,
these guys are working now. Look at Stevie
do
Richards.
do I want
Steve
to
Stevie
Stevie? Yeah,
Richards is trying to tell Kyle Fletch, who's one of the hottest prospects in wrestling right now, that he needs
yeah,
to learn how to work. And
yeah.
Don Callis absolutely obliterated Stevie Richards. I don't know if you saw that tweet he put out.
I did. Yeah,
So, I love Stevie Richards,
me
but
too. But
I mean the guy's just
sometimes,
looking,
man.
he's just looking for that click. They're
Yeah.
all doing Maven is the king of it.
Holy shit! Has Maven? This has been the year of two people just looking to piss people off. Maven and Jonathan Coachman.
I don't think Maven's trying to piss people off.
I it seems to me is
Maven's videos are all so positive and so upbeat, but he just gets the marketing aspect of it,
yeah.
right? Like his one video, I snuck backstage at AEW. Well, did you though? Like, you
Yeah.
know, and like I don't know anyone that sneaks backstage at AEW and gets 20 minutes to talk to Tony Khan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But the guy Maven, like he gets it. You know, his
Yeah.
stuff with Buff Bagwell, like is it exploiting a little bit?
Sure it
But
is.
he also is putting positive spotlight on things. Just incredible. Absolutely exploited the hell out of him. But he also was the only person to give Jess Incredible an open line to defend himself,
Hmm.
like on a big platform,
Yeah.
right? Like so, Maven gets it. RVD, that was the other one, where our Maven made a comment that RVD was the smelliest wrestler he'd been in the ring with.
And then he didn't he go and like apologize or
Yeah,
some
he went
shit?
to
Or
his
yeah.
house and smoked
Yeah.
weed with him. It's like the
Yeah.
first time he smoked weed in like 20 years. Like he's like, whoa. So Maven gets it. Like
Yeah.
I'm on board with Maven. I'd like to try to find a way to get him to come on the
I
show. I think he would
I
be a
agree.
fantastic guest.
I agree. It's more especially Coachman's been pissing me off this year. He I feel like he's turning into just like he's doing exactly what Vince Russo does.
Well, because he's
He
boys with Vince Russo, right?
Yeah. I don't I used to try regularly to try to get Coach on the show. Now I have no I don't know. It's
Yeah.
I don't enjoy what he's doing, unfortunately.
Well,
But
he
who am I
doesn't.
to, at the same time, who am I to judge? If you got to do what you got to do to get people to watch your shit, if
Yeah.
that's what you think you need to do, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to like it though.
Yeah, I mean, we choose to go a different route on this show. We're not
Mhm.
that, I would rather keep our very loyal and positive followers. Although I did get a negative, not a negative comment, but somebody chirped me on a Facebook comment on a reel I put out or an
Oh
Instagram
yeah.
comment. Or did you
Oh
see
yeah.
that? Did I send
No.
that to you?
No. No.
I put out a reel about one of the Hardy Boys from the interview that we did, and
Mhm.
somebody commented and goes, "Why does the interviewer sound like an AI bot?" Listen, I'm in a room with an echo, okay? We
That's
we
so fucking funny.
we recently redid our floors and I now have an echo in my recording room. So I will get a carpet at some point to hopefully chill out the echo, all right? But I'm not AI. I work hard.
That's so funny, dude. Oh my God. I love that. I'm gonna just
Let's shift gears. Let's talk about the big news in the world of WWE.
mm-hmm.
And before we get to that big news, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Are you a pro or con Becky Lynch right now? You enjoying the work Becky's doing, or you think it's too much, or what are we
I
thinking?
I enjoyed the last two segments I've seen of her and AJ Lee.
Hmm.
We've we've talked about everything before. We talked just last week about her stuff with Lyra. How I didn't enjoy that whole feud.
How do you enjoy her promo work right now, Becky's?
I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I
I
don't.
I I, I I'm not going to say she sucks by any means. She doesn't suck. This is the best stuff she's ever done. Is it the best stuff that's being done right now? No, but you don't always have to be on the top. Right now,
I
she's just not on the top. That's all.
I'm a big fan of Becky Lynch in general.
Yeah, for sure.
I really think that she is a phenomenal talent. I think in the
She'll go
ring,
down as one of my top seven female performers of all time.
it's hard not to.
At the end of the
And
day,
it,
when everything is said and done, I think so.
it's hard not to because I think that the between the WrestleMania main event doesn't happen without her or Ronda Rousey. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? They just put
Yep.
Charlotte in there at the last minute, and Charlotte's deserving of the WrestleMania main event because
Sure.
she's incredible. But she's got a legacy for sure. I feel like though with her current heel run right now, it's the first time since like Leprechaun Becky Lynch and like when she was trying to find like that weird middle
So
ground period before the
that little
man.
the little steampunk shit thing she was doing in the
Yeah,
beginning, just trying to find who she was.
I
Yeah.
feel like this is the first time that Becky hasn't felt authentic to me.
Okay.
I feel like she's playing this, and I don't know if it's just like her and Seth just play off each other and it brings it out of each other. And it's not bad. Like I'm not saying I'm not enjoying it because I
No.
do. I think that she's playing a great like it's almost like a throwback like 80s heel right
Hmm.
now. Like she's a little over the top because we know where we're going. Like I
Yeah.
thought her promo with Punk was fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I know a lot of people are shitting on it, but
I'm not going to shit on it. Like I say,
it
you
was
don't
it was
always need to be the best in the room. That
well,
you, it's
it was exactly what it needed to be, right? But then
mhm.
Becky will show like these little glimpses of like authenticity, like when she cut that promo on Nikki Bella. And even though the John Cena joke is run into the ground by now, her delivery on it was
I
really good.
it was, but I don't need to hear that joke anymore.
No,
Come on.
it's run into the it's like the Triple H and Stephanie joke. Like
Yeah,
we get
it's
it, but that line that she cut was really good, and
mhm.
it felt like oh, there's Becky, like you know what I mean. So I think she's just having fun right now with this Seth Rollins. Like I mean, how could you not have fun working with your significant
Listen.
other on screen,
You're you
right?
you you're doing a thing with your husband, the father of your child, the guy that you had sworn to spend the rest of your life with, and now you get to get to share this part of your life with him, not just in the locker room, but on the screen. You're having fun. This has to be the most fun she's ever had,
You
really.
would think so.
So all the power to both of them. Again, Seth's in the same category. Is Seth doing the best work Seth has ever done in his career right now? I don't think so. But is Seth still fucking Seth freaking Rollins? Of course he is. He's still one of the best of the last decade.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
have you noticed how Seth has quietly moved away from Paul Heyman and Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know
I
if that,
I
and
don't know what's going on.
before I get to you, I want to ask your opinion about the return of AJ Lee. I got a pretty serious question for you first.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do at fans football this week?
Really, really, we're gonna do this right now.
I just have some phone glitches. I just wanted to make sure that. We were.
Let's just say there's a no. You know what? I was gonna say there's a big brown stain in my bed because I shit the bed, but I didn't shit the bed. I played all the people I should have played. I picked my team accordingly. My team just didn't fucking deliver. So I did fine. The people in the NFL need to get their shit together.
Uh,
One, maybe two people on my entire team played the way that they should have. Two. Everybody else underdelivered. And I mean underdelivered by far.
I had a dominant performance in my week one. It was never a question in my mind at all. That is the farthest thing from the truth. I I won my match by 133.56 points to 133.22 points.
You always do that. You had a couple matches like that last year where you just won by that scrape of your tent.
Yeah, I will thank Josh Allen for his 45-point performance. Yes, but
See,
so this
if only you did that trade with me, we'd be having a very different discussion.
I would not be doing that trade. That I will never look at George Pickens again. I have him in another league. He's already frustrating me.
Uh-huh.
But I would still like to trade Aaron Jones. I got a lot of Minnesota Vikings, and I just want to spread out the love a little bit. So that being said, this is the way fantasy football should be: me winning, you losing, and all is right in the world, and all
We'll
is right
talk
in the
about
wrestling
that.
world because AJ Lee has returned. What did you think about the return of AJ Lee?
I think it's exactly 100,000% exactly what it needed to be. They hit every beat the way it should have been. I do have a very, very simple question. When was the last time we saw AJ Lee on WWE television?
God, it was like right after WrestleMania 31.
Oh, it wasn't like last week
She looks
because
incredible.
she hasn't aged, she hasn't missed a beat. She hit the character notes every step of the way. She hit the promos, she hit everything. She has not missed a single beat.
Hmm.
She is as good as she was 11, 12 years ago, whenever the last time we saw her. Holy shit.
Hmm.
I couldn't be happier for this whole situation. Just like we said about AJ and Becky and Seth. How fun must this be for Punk and AJ?
Punk, this is probably the highlight of CM Punk's entire career.
Agreed.
And you can see it in
He's
his
having fun.
face. You
Yeah,
can see it in his face, right?
he loves this.
I always like the smart mark AEW slash WWE internet fans. As soon as they post a picture of AJ Lee and go, "This is all Jack Perry's fault."
That's really funny. I love
Everything
that.
comes back to Jack Perry.
Everything comes back to Jack Perry, except for work.
Yeah, I was gonna say, except for him.
Well, when was the last time he actually got in a ring?
They did do a tease of Jack Perry's return, though, on
Oh
an
yeah.
episode of Being the Elite. He called the Young Bucks, and
They still do being the elite. I thought that was
they
over.
just brought it back.
Oh,
They just brought it back about a month ago or
oh
so.
shit, eh?
And they did a segment where, because Jack was aligned with the Young Bucks for a while there, and he called them, and they just ignored his call.
I want to talk about the elite. Let's touch on that real quick before we hit the list. What do you think of all these things that Cody keeps alluding to? Does he look a little maybe I don't want to say scared, but a little worried about what the elite and the Bucks might say in this book that's apparently coming out?
Well, they've already said it. That's the Young Bucks said it in their book. Cody keeps saying, "I need to write a book to put my side of the
Oh,
story out."
maybe I misunderstood everything I read. So this Young Buck book is already out.
It's been out for years, yeah.
Okay, I did not. The way I understood it is that they were coming out with a book, and he was afraid of what was going to be said.
No, I
Okay,
think he's
so
a
I misunderstood
little.
the whole situation.
I think he's a little butthurt because in the book, the Bucks said that he was the last one to sign his AEW contract. I think he took that as they're saying I wasn't as important to the cause or the creation of AEW.
I mean, technically Kenny was, but
Kenny was the last one to sign?
yeah, Kenny didn't because Kenny was still signed to New Japan for
No,
months.
they were all together.
No, they
They
weren't. No,
yeah.
go look, go. Remember, it was a whole big deal. AEW had already begun, and Kenny was still signed to New Japan. He had to wait to sign.
No.
Yes,
I've seen the video of them all
I'm
signing their contracts together.
I'm positive Kenny had to wait.
No, Kenny worked New Japan up until Tokyo Dome, even though he didn't have to.
Hmm.
They all had their contracts come up at the same time. Hangman, Kenny, the Bucks, and then Marty got Diddle Boyd, so he was out. Um, but yeah, I think Cody's in a lose-lose situation with this scenario because I don't think it matters what he says. I think if he says something about AEW, he comes across as the petty guy.
Well,
And
it
if he
sounds to me
doesn't
he can't say
say
anything anyways because of NDAs.
possibly, I don't know what he's signed or not signed, yeah. But he
Mm.
keeps saying if he ever wrote a book, he would tell his whole side of the story. I don't I don't know. I don't know what happened there. I think Cody definitely felt disrespected by AEW. From what I've gathered, I think they offered Tony Khan offered Cody a pay cut instead of a pay raise.
Mm.
Um,
Was
I don't know.
did he also have EVP status at that time?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did. Okay.
Yes, he did. And I don't know, man. If you look back in hindsight, like Tony Khan losing Cody Rhodes kind of was the beginning of the decline of AEW. Like that was the shot in the arm to WWE between Cody Rhodes leaving and CM Punk's drama.
It's not well, I think CM Punk's drama had more to do with it than Cody leaving. I think Cody leaving hurt the company. I'm not going to say it didn't, but as far as the decline, I can't believe I'm defending AEW here. It's not like they dropped off the map or anything.
No, they didn't. Well, they did for a little bit. Like they're performing in front of massively empty arenas. But when I say the decline,
Well,
I
that's because
don't.
they're putting themselves in massive stadiums that they couldn't fill. They were
But
dumb.
they were filling those stadiums the year before, right?
Mm.
But what I mean by the decline in AEW is that it gave WWE such a big shot in the arm, and like Cody
Oh
really
yeah,
like was a needle mover for WWE,
absolutely he was.
right? So yeah, I think that if you go back and look in the annals of AEW in 10, 20 years, when we go back and look at like the history of AEW, I think people will look at that moment like they do with Stone Cold Steve Austin getting fired from WCW.
Mm.
I think those are like two big shifting points, right?
Yeah,
But who knows?
except Stone Cold wasn't a massive star when he left WCW.
Hmm.
He came over, spent 2 years proving himself, and then became a massive star.
Yeah,
Cody
it wasn't overnight,
Cody spent his time between WWE and AEW making himself a massive star,
correct?
and then came back to WWE, the biggest thing in the fucking world.
Well, I mean, Steve Austin kind of did that in ECW as well. His work in ECW got WWE to finally look at him.
To look at him, but obviously, they didn't care that much. He came in, they made him the ringmaster.
Yeah, and then he got the opportunity and ran with it though, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's it.
that's all you need is an opportunity.
100%.
They could have brought Cody back and been like, "Yeah, you're going to be Stardust again," and it could have sank the whole thing. But they were like, "You built something great. Here's your music. Here's your logo. Do what you need to do."
Yeah.
And the guy's main evented 3 WrestleManias in a row because of it.
And he's the man who dethroned Roman Reigns, which is going to go big time into the history books.
Yeah, yeah,
You
and
know,
it's been announced by Triple H he will be making his return at WrestlePalooza. So that card, despite the stupidest name on the planet, it's really shaping up to be a great card.
we got our John Cena Brock Lesnar match. So
Yeah, you
you
got
know,
the return of the Usos against Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed.
yeah.
You got the return of Cody. You've got AJ Lee and CM Punk
What do you think?
against.
What do you think Cody's going to do?
I don't know. I hope that they set up his next title program. I think it's going to be Cody and Drew. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
they've been kind of going back and forth.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
The other thing too, like we've got 7 dates left for John Cena,
And
and
apparently that it must be all Raws and pay-per-views because apparently that Chicago show was his last
SmackDown.
SmackDown.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He's got a bunch of international dates. He's got Survivor Series in San Diego. He's got MSG house show. There's is it Raw? It might be a Raw and MSG. I could be mistaken on that. He's got a show in Boston that will not be his last show. His last show now looks like it will be in Washington, D.C.
okay.
So yeah, I mean, I still don't know where they're going with John Cena right now.
No, I have no idea what their plans are. It's which is okay with me. I like being surprised. I like being not knowing exactly where we're going. But
Mm.
I can't even guess right now.
I don't know, and it's weird because it doesn't seem like they have anything that they're building towards.
Hmm.
It's like right now, it's like kind of we're just getting greatest hits. Like this is what I expected it to be at the beginning. Like, hey, Sami Zayn came out. You gave me an opportunity years ago. Let me give you one now. Let's have a banger of a match. Like this is what
Sure.
I expected the first half of his tour to be. I like that he's doing little nods to people, like in his matches. Like
Yeah. I right. The when you did the Styles Clash, that
Styles
was
Clash, the Kurt Angle's ankle lock and angle
yeah.
slam he did.
Yeah.
CM Punk's go to sleep. It's like the guys that he's not getting to work with, he's given that little tip of the cap to. I thought that was nice, except he
I thought
worked
so.
Punk, but
But I think it's just it's not only the guys who you didn't get to work with. I think he's doing it for his favorite opponents. He loved working AJ, you know that.
mhm.
Him and Kurt have had some phenomenal stories together. So that makes sense too. And him and Punk are have legendary feuds. So I like that he's doing it for some of his favorite rivals. I love that a lot.
Yeah, no, I don't know where they go
And
from here with
I hope
Cena.
it keeps going. I hope he does a spear for Edge. I hope he
He
does.
did, he
Oh,
did the
did he?
Spirit of Sammy, yeah, all the
Okay,
same match, yeah.
I missed that. Okay, who else? Clothesline from Hell. That'd be
Gotcha,
cool.
yeah, yeah.
That's if maybe we'll talk about this at the end of the year when we get closer to his retirement. But we were to talk about my favorite John Cena opponents. You can't not talk about JBL.
I will not talk about JBL.
I will. I
I did
love
not think they had good. I thought they had one good match together.
I love their stuff together. I love them.
Not my favorite, but teach their own.
All right. Do you have anything else before we put a big blue dot on our screen and get to the list?
No, I got nothing. Let's get into some of Christian Cage's top 7 career moments.
So this is career moments. I want to put some specifications on here real quick because we're not talking about his greatest moments. We're not talking about his the best things he's done in his career. We're talking about the most important moments for his career. I want to
Okay.
specify that specifically. These are moments like I can talk about the 5 minute poses all day long, or 5 second poses all day long because they were great. But I'm talking about stuff that changed the course of his career as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
So that's
Bef-
important. That's important to know.
before you do your number 7, then we talked a little bit earlier about how he's a top performer in every company he goes to.
Mhm.
Which company gets Christian the most and has utilized him the best, in your
Man,
opinion?
right now it's hard not to give some props to AEW because I think they're just letting him do what he wants to do and letting Jay Riso be Jay Riso and do what Jay Riso does. So I kind of gotta give him props, but I think I might have to throw it to TNA.
Yeah,
I think
TNA, I
TNA,
agree.
I think he felt the most authentic in TNA.
Fair, fair.
He's one of those guys. I put him in the same category as Kurt Angle, who just went over and just had the best stuff that they ever did in that company.
He's a
You know?
chameleon. You can put him anywhere and he adapts.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, I'm excited to go down memory lane
And
here.
and before I start here, I just want to say why this list is so special to me, because I will say this. Christian was literally the first indie wrestler I ever met. I met him and Joe Legend at the same time at the same show. I met a bunch of other guys at that show that I would learn later on, but Christian Cage and Joe Legend, meeting them as two great Ontario indie stars was really cool.
Mm.
And then they went on, to be bigger, obviously. And Edge's or Christian's tag team partner that night, Andrew Martin, went on to be a pretty big deal himself.
Who'd he ever
Uh,
beat?
who would he ever beat?
Stacy Keibler.
And then, of course, I got to meet the Bushwhackers that night too, but that was a couple hours later, and they weren't, Ontario indie guys. But meeting Christian as one of the hottest tag teams in Ontario at the time in the Suicide Blondes, that was cool, and I always had that for me going on to see the progression of his career. Of course,
Did the Bushwhackers lick you at all?
not me. They did lick my buddy James, his sister. They licked his sister's face all the way up. Yeah.
I don't think we're not doing Count It Out After Dark here, Mike. All right, we're not.
You asked the question, I answered it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I was surprised.
If I'm not allowed to do Count It Out After Dark, neither are you. Damn it.
All right, let's start with my number 7. Top 7. important career moments for Christian Cage. Number 7, winning the light heavyweight title in his debut match against Taka Michinoku at Judgment Day 1998.
Okay.
I think anybody who comes into the WWE and just wins a title right away, you have to start talking about it.
I don't think this would have made my list personally,
All right.
because I always forget that he did this.
And he
Like,
lost it to Gilbert a month later. I
yeah,
get
it's
it.
it's not like
I
this
get,
title like put a spotlight on him. It was a
but
great match with Taka though.
it
Like,
was a great match of talking, and it was a good spotlight for him. It was a good way to be like, okay, he came in like a month earlier,
yeah,
just doing spots with
he just yeah he would
with
just
Edge.
he just stare at Edge.
But you're like, you needed to take him seriously though. Okay, well, we've been watching this Edge guy for a while, only a couple of weeks or months at the time. But we have high hopes for this Edge guy, but what's this Christian guy doing?
I mean, anyone that wears the
this
puffy shirt is good in my books.
this Christian guy this Christian guy just won the light heavyweight championship. And the first time we ever saw him in the ring. Okay, we have to take him seriously right now. And that's why I made the list.
I'm going to hold my final opinion on this one till I see what's not on the list and what is on the list, and I'm gonna say a maybe on this one. To
Okay.
me, this one doesn't scream like what a great moment. It screams I forgot this happened and you lost to Gilbert.
Okay.
We'll see though. We'll see. I'm not going to judge it too hard yet.
In my number 6, we're gonna go right back to talking about a title win, but we're jumping 13 years. We're going to Extreme Rules 2011 with him beating Alberto Del Rio for his first World Heavyweight Championship.
Only on the number 6 spot. I would have had this pegged. I would have had this pegged as maybe a top 3 moment in all honesty.
Because I don't think it did anything for his career. I just think it's a great moment because of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
This is almost a Rey Mysterio situation where everybody can say, "Oh, Rey only won the Royal Rumble because Eddie passed away." Blah blah blah. Well, you could say that all you want, but the fact of the matter is, Rey Mysterio won the fucking Royal Rumble.
Mm-hmm.
Same situation here. You can say Christian only won the World Heavyweight Championship because of the Edge situation, but guess what? At the end of the day, Christian still won the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah,
he had never held a big title in WWE before, and here he is, only I want to say a month, maybe not even a month after Edge announces his retirement,
mm-hmm.
and goes on to beat Alberto Del Rio to become
I remember
that title holder.
People were so mad because I'm pretty sure he lost the title like either the next week on SmackDown or like 2 weeks later to Randy Orton.
It wasn't not very long. But didn't you lose and then didn't you get it back and then lose it again?
Yeah, that's what orchestrated his heel turn because he lost it like he might have lost it only like a few days later. Like
I don't think it was very long.
No, because that's what started. He had a great heel run with Randy Orton. They had phenomenal matches together.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to see what else is on your list before I can too heavily criticize where this moment places on your list. It's definitely a list-worthy moment, though.
Well, if you're not happy about that being where it is, you're not going to be happy about my number 5 because we're going back to a title win. We're going to, against all odds, winning the NWA title from Jeff Jarrett.
I think this is fine here.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think this is fine here because I think he's had bigger title wins than this. I think this is probably one of the most meaningful title wins for him.
Well, that's it. I'm not throwing every title win on this here. I'm only putting the ones that I think elevated his career. And I think this did. I think if he doesn't win the NWA title there, maybe he doesn't end up going back to WWE in 2012. Maybe WWE doesn't care.
To the worst return of all time.
Yeah, well.
Just walks out unannounced on ECW and Tom Phillips being told to sandbag him. Is it Christian? And Vince purposely told him not to hype it up. Fuck, man.
They gave him the Nick Aldis treatment, But this was a big moment though, beating, of course, not only winning the title, but beating Jeff Jarrett for the title.
Yeah, he was Mr. TNA at the time.
He was Mr. TNA. At this point, there was only how many championship reigns have there been in TNA at this point?
There'd been a good amount. No, there'd
maybe
been
5 or 6.
TNA had been around for about 5 or 6 years by this point.
Yeah,
2003. They started in 2003.
I thought Jeff's title reigns were kind of long though.
They
Yeah.
bounce back and forth because AJ had a couple reigns in there, and like
Before
they're
Christian, yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, yeah,
Okay. All right.
couple. But yeah, no, the only thing I dislike about this part of TNA history, and I think it hurts Christian's run a little bit, this was the point where anybody that got released by WWE came to TNA and immediately got pushed in the main event spot.
Hmm.
And it was just like annoying that Jarrett would beat them or whatever. So it was nice to see Christian actually win it. But it was just like a lot of people were like, ah, here's a WWE guy again. And Christian worked really hard to change that stigma, which was
I
phenomenal on his part.
I agree with you. That puts me at what? My number four?
Number four.
My number four is his current AEW run, basically.
Okay.
I'm just gonna throw it all together. The father figure gimmick as a whole, and being basically the moment itself is reinventing himself in his late 40s, early 50s for AEW and getting over as one of the greatest heels in professional wrestling today. I think that encompasses my number four spot.
So you are not in agreement that this is the best work of Christian's career.
When you hear the rest of my list, the list is more moments that pushed him that I think that are important. It's not full bodies of work. If we're
Okay.
talking about full bodies of work, maybe this is up there. But do I agree that he's doing the greatest work of his career? I think I'm just way too much of an ENC fan to say yes.
Fair enough.
I think if I go back and watch everything from 99 to 2002, all that tag team work, I think trumps it for me. Is that maybe just nostalgia? Possibly. Is he doing the best heel work he's ever done? Yeah, probably. Is he doing something that we've never seen before from anybody? That's what I love about it. Is he getting almost as good as Chris Jericho at reinventing himself? You're goddamn right he is.
I would almost
But
say that he's a little. I love Chris Jericho and all the ways he reinvents himself, but the one big difference between Jericho in that category and everybody else that does it, like that you think about, like Taker and whatever, right?
no one else does it every 9 months.
That's Jericho. Jericho throws a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misses in
Uh,
Jericho's recreations as well.
I won't lie to you. I was never a fan of the big little bit of the bubbly.
Oh, I
I found
loved
it
it.
I found it extremely annoying.
I thought it was so funny. That was just like such a short term, like fun thing.
My number three, I'm not going to call it his return to WWE because I think that was kind of a miss. What I'm calling it is his return from injury.
The Royal
Coming,
Rumble?
yes, if because that's where it happened, we can talk about that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about the fact that he was able to do what Edge did. The fact that he was able to come back when for 7 years all he talked about on his podcast was I'm never going to wrestle again. I'm not allowed. The doctor said no. Nobody, just like Edge, no one expected him to ever be in a ring again. And then we got it. So I'm not calling Royal Rumble the spot. I'm not calling Return to WWE the spot. Returning to the ring in general doesn't matter. He could have returned that Barry Wrestling for all I care. The fact that
Doing
he got
great.
the fact that he got into a ring after his retirement, that is my number three spot.
You know, it's funny how we talk about how Christian's one of the most overlooked performers of all time
Mm-hmm.
because his return is also one of the most overlooked returns of all time. Because
It
everybody
was kind of
always,
it was overshadowed.
well, but think about it. Whenever everyone's like, oh, the people that were told they could never wrestle again, all they ever say is Edge, Daniel Bryan, and Paige.
Yeah,
And they never say
they
Christian.
never say Christian,
Like, yeah,
and
never.
Christian was out almost as long as Edge was.
Yeah, a couple. I think there was like 3 years difference before
I
Christian.
believe, yeah, I believe it was 2 years because I know Christian was Edge was out for almost exactly 9 years, and I think Christian was out for seven. Yeah.
Yeah, because Edge's last WrestleMania was 25 and
Mhm.
Christian's was 30. He had
Yeah,
to retire right before the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. He got pulled from that WrestleMania, and that was it.
yeah,
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, and he came back in 2019 at the COVID Royal Rumble or
And
2020, I guess.
yeah, and
And
which is
it's too bad because his
they,
return was in front of nobody.
So yeah, so that would have been the 2021 Royal Rumble
Was it 2021?
because 2020 was where Edge made his return.
Mm.
Yeah,
When did I thought the world? Oh yeah, because the world shut
because the
down in
world shut because
2020.
that was in January and the world
Yeah,
shut down
yeah,
in March.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
so
so
by the time
2021.
WrestleMania came around, we had no crowd.
And Christian had his return in front of the Thunderdome.
And then by the time WrestleMania came around, we had crowd back, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Christian was
So
no longer in WWE.
oops. But it's significant the fact that he even came back after that long.
I agree.
That's why it's my number 3.
Fair enough.
My number 2. Listen, we've talked about this, and I'm okay with your opinion, as long as you're okay with mine. I won't back down ever about talking about ENC as being one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history.
Yeah, I mean, we're all wrong about something.
So my number 2, and the thing is, you're one of the only people I'll ever talk to with this opinion. I'm not going to say you're wrong because it's a subjective thing.
I'm not taking away from Edge and Christian I'm not taking away from them. I think they are a top-notch tag team. I just don't think they're in the greatest of all time category.
Well, my number 2 is Edge and Christian contributing with at least one, if not two, other tag teams in pioneering a new style of tag team wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine
the ladder matches, the TLC matches, all this new style that we saw. You don't get it without the Hardys, the Dudleys, and ENC.
I mean, I would even, depending on what your number 1 is, because I genuinely can't think of what it's going to be right now off the top of my head, but I would be okay even if you just put his entire tag team with Edge in this spot, because you take it a step back further. The kazoos, the 5-second poses, the work with Mick Foley, they were so great together when he was the commissioner.
Yeah.
Then you go into the ladder match and the TLC match and the feud with the Dudleys and the feud with the Hardys. Like, this is game-changing stuff. It really is. They definitely changed the business, and it's hard to argue this to be anywhere that's not in the top 2 to 3 spot on your list, 100%.
My number 1, I don't think you'll agree with me, but the reason it's my number 1 is because I think it's the most important move and important career decision that he ever made, and I think it set up what his career was going to continue to look like. My number 1 is him leaving WWE and signing with TNA in 2005.
He was the first guy that chose TNA over WWE, not to be fired. He made the choice.
And it was a massive move. No one had done that before. TNA was very homegrown at the time. You didn't have a lot of jump overs.
Well, you got a lot. This is when they were signing on the fired guys, though.
Exactly.
But nobody chose TNA.
No one chose. So he went over there, and this is the first time he really reinvented himself, because he came in and reintroduced the world to Christian Cage. We had been seeing Christian, the vampire, Christian, the fucking weird glasses looking dude, Christian, the tag team specialist, Christian. We've never seen Christian Cage before. So for him to come out in TNA on his own terms, doing his own deal, doing everything out of the shadow of Edge, because by now Edge has already become who Edge is going to be. I can't remember if he was the Rated R Superstar quite yet.
Yeah, he'd already started.
I think he was.
So it was like the very early stages of it. He wasn't quite, but it was like he was finding that Rated R.
So for the first time ever, he's no longer Edge's partner. He's no longer Edge's buddy. He's now on his own, and he gets to do what he wants to do. I don't think Edge or Christian ever gets the attention of WWE again. I think that's why WWE had no problem with going. I think this was hey, go over, get, do what you think you have to do, and then come back.
I think they were hot. I think they were a little hot. I think Vince was hot at Christian.
I've heard the exact opposite rumors, to be honest. I heard Vince wanted him to go and basically get better and then come back. And that's what happened, because he did have some of the greatest matches of his career. He went over, did some of the best work he ever did right there in TNA, and he made a name for himself. And that's the most important. That's why it's my number 1. I don't think he ever gets that opportunity to make a real name for himself outside of the ENC tag team if he doesn't go over. If
Okay.
he stays in 2005, if he decides to re-sign his contract with WWE, where does he go from there?
Stays exactly where he was.
I don't think he
Upper mid
ever
card.
he flounders. I don't think any.
I don't think
I
he flounders.
no, I don't know. I
Christian's
think
not a floundering type of talent. I just don't think he
I'm
ever.
not saying it's his fault. I'm saying that they lose interest in him.
That was the most over Christian was at his in his entire career at that point when he left the
Hmm.
WWE too.
And
Um,
I think he knew that if he took that, he was over. He took that and did his own thing with it rather than allowed them to keep their thumb on him. It would work out for him, and it did. I think he made a very smart business decision.
so I don't hate your list.
Hmm.
I think you missed a humongous moment in his
Okay,
career though.
all right, go for it.
And I have some issues with some of your rankings. Like
Sure.
I think
Rankings are always going to be a thing.
I think his ladder match with Del Rio is probably in the top one or two for me.
I didn't
I
really. I kind of tried to stay away from matches unless it was a real
well, I meant
career
like the
defining thing.
moment.
But
I meant the moment of him winning that world heavyweight title, like finally winning the
well,
WWE world heavyweight title. I
well,
think that's a huge moment.
I, but I did. I put winning the WHC from Del Rio at Extreme Rules.
Yeah, no, I meant your placement of it. I would have had
Oh,
it.
okay.
I would have probably had it in my top one or two. I just
I
think
see.
that I think that's one of the biggest moments of his entire career.
Sure. Okay.
But I do think you missed a big one that I would probably put in my top three as well. And
Okay. Go for it.
that's defeating Kenny Omega for the TNA Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, how could I have forgotten about that?
Because
That's a
that
good call. That's a good call. Had I not totally just blanked on that, you're right. I would definitely kick off his match with Taka
yeah,
and put that on there. Yes, you're
because
right.
that was a humongous win for him. And then that they went on to main event the AEW pay-per-view that year where Adam Cole and Daniel Bryan made their debuts immediately after that. And one of the
Yeah,
greatest moments in company history.
and then you got to talk about the stuff he did with Josh as well. And
And then that's right. He
yeah,
went over and
yeah,
put Josh over and started the greatest title reign in TNA history, possibly, right?
quite possibly.
So I definitely would have that in my top. I think I would probably have that on my number two spot in all honesty, because Kenny was so
That's
well
hard.
protected.
That's hard to argue.
That
Really hard to argue.
Kenny was so well protected. I think you could argue that as the number one or two spot in all honesty. Um, the other thing I want to touch on is just all the work that Christian's done elevating new talent in AEW as well. Like I think without Christian, I don't think Jungle Boy gets over as big as he did,
That whole Jungle Express or whatever the fuck they were calling themselves.
with the
I don't think.
exception of Marco Stunt, who just got kicked out of the group
Marco
at
kind
that
of just
point.
cut, yeah. But
Um,
let's be honest, Marco was never supposed to be a long-term thing. I think Tony thought Marco was going to get over due to his charisma
size.
and
Yeah.
size, but it just didn't work out. And I love Marco. I wish I could get Marco on the show because I do. I have a lot of respect for Marco Stunt. All the stuff that he's done in GCW, I absolutely love Marco. Am I surprised he didn't last in AEW? Of course I'm not.
No.
It was a failed experiment, and good on Tony for trying. I'm just happy he gave Marco the opportunity.
Mhm.
But I think I don't know how far Luchasaurus would have kept going if Christian didn't
Well,
come around. You
that's
know,
right. And then they had a great, like he was with
I
them in the heel
okay,
run. Nick
I
Wayne. Nick Wayne
what
got a lot of big exposure because of it.
so
Kip
what
Sabian.
so what's Luchasaurus doing now? Is he still?
He just came back, so he had like that really serious injury, like with his lungs or something, where his lung was collapsing
Oh,
or
okay.
something. So
Yeah, yeah.
he just came back as he was kill switch in
He
Christian's
was
group.
he was Kill Switch. Is he back as Kill Switch or is he back as
He's back
Luchasaurus
as a heel with Nick Wayne, I
with Nick
believe.
Wayne?
I
Okay, all
believe
right.
that's what he's doing right.
Well,
He just
well
came
that
back.
and that's another guy. Let's talk about Nick Wayne because Nick Wayne, he just like Marco, Nick Wayne had a lot against him with his size
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Nick was he had a lot of people in his corner. Um, I don't know if a lot of people will remember this, but a few years ago when TJ Perkins was on the show, he
Mhm.
gave props to Nick Wayne, saying that he wished that Nick would have usurped his throne as the youngest person to ever go to New Japan. So Nick's had eyes on him for a long time, but because of his size, I don't know how many people. I don't think WWE would have ever given the opportunity.
I don't.
Christian has
I think
worked with
even
Nick
with
Wayne in the greatest way possible.
hey, banged his mom. Um, But I don't even think it's anything to do with his size. Obviously size is always a hindrance, but in AEW, you just get lost in the shuffle so easily,
Yeah.
right? And because Nick and I'll use Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian's been in AEW since day one,
Hmm.
and he's always just, where is he? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And now he's
Yeah.
with Christian. He was with Christian. It just elevates those guys being with
100%.
Christian, right?
Yeah.
And can you imagine like having a front row seat and working with Christian at that age? Like
Yeah.
Nick Wayne, like is a young guy, and he's just like, oh yeah, you're gonna work with Christian. What? Like
And
that's
now
crazy.
and now he's going to make two more names because these young nobodies, FTR, I think are their names. They get to go up against Edge and Christian and make a
Yeah,
name for themselves.
and he's really like latched on to this old timer named Cope and really elevating him as well, right? So it's
Uh,
that comment reminds me of. It's when remember a few years ago, like more than a few years ago, when Kanye West put out that song with Rihanna and Paul McCartney. I think it was Rihanna. It
yeah,
could be
yeah,
somebody
yeah,
else.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all the like young people were like, "Oh, Kanye West is such a great guy, giving this old guy Paul McCartney a chance."
Yeah,
It's
I
like
remember
what?
that. What the
Like,
fuck are you talking about?
Paul McCartney's like the
I'll
greatest songwriter of all time.
I'll tell you one thing that it came really close to being like probably my number seven. I came this close to putting the "go fuck yourself" moment.
I love that moment too. I think
I
that's I think that's his most iconic solo moment.
right. I came this close to putting that
Well,
on
you
there.
technically did because you group that in with his AEW run,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
Which I'm
Yeah.
gonna call you out. Might be a little bit of a cop out. I'm gonna call it out. A little bit of a cop out that whole run.
I mean, it's no more of a cop out than just putting his tag team in. I mean, it's
Listen, I'm the king of cop outs, right? But we'll leave that on. We'll see if you get a message from Rob Arabic if you're if
there,
is
there you
this
go.
is this a cop out?
That's it.
Yeah,
Well,
leave it in the YouTube comments, Rob, or Spotify. That's where you listen. Leave it in Spotify and send Mike a direct message and give him shit, or praise him and give me shit. Either way.
well, I mean,
Um,
that's kind of his way.
Let me ask you another question then.
Yeah.
How come you didn't put the ladder match, the tag team ladder match with the Hardys on your list? Was there
Again,
any consideration for that?
I was trying to stay away from matches. I kind of looped it out when I said, because I didn't just say ENC the tag team. I said
Yeah.
ENC pioneering a new style of wrestling.
Well,
So to
so
me, that
kind of there.
encompassed TLC, it encompassed the WrestleMania 2000 match. Everything was in together.
Because you could kind of flip the switch in a moment that I think gets forgotten about at the annals of time is the night after that ladder match when they got the standing ovation in the ring.
Yeah.
Like you talk about when he jumped to TNA as being like a defining moment in his career, like this is me who I am. Without that ladder match, we don't get to that TNA moment. Like that was his coming out party as a performer. And then he was
Right.
eventually
Yeah.
able. So I would maybe put some consideration into so like singling that moment out a little bit more. But I mean, with Christian's entire career, it's really hard to narrow down to seven. Do you have some honorable mentions? I know we're getting close on time here. We got to start bringing it
Uh,
home.
um, Not that I wrote down. I forget them all. I have a separate list somewhere that I didn't bring to the table.
Uh,
Um,
I'll say his feud with DDP was it's not list worthy, but it was fun. The hissy
sure.
fits that he would do.
Yeah.
I really like the hissy fit stuff a lot. The heel turn when he turned heel on Edge, we talked about that last week. I thought that was a huge moment in his career. And then the debut of like the opera music, it's so iconic, and the new gear. Like I just thought his heel turn was done really well. You mentioned some of these moments at the top of the show, tag team with Chris Jericho, the Un-Americans, Lance Storm and Christian against Edge and Hulk Hogan is a great tag team match at Vengeance. Like that was a fun
Mm.
match. I mean, there's just so many. Like there's just so many.
So anybody who keeps sleeping on Christian in 2025, wake up, man. You got go all the way back to 1998. You got a lot of wrestling to watch.
Yeah, and if you got a problem with Christian, you better hope that your dad's still alive because he's gonna get you.
Well, before I'm going to do this first because I love
Yeah,
that.
I'll do
Yeah.
the old.
No, okay. I thought you were going to start jiving again.
No, no,
You're
that
juking.
was. Hey, listen, you got the opportunity to do a delete with Matt Hardy and a juke with
Yeah,
Jeff Hardy. You take it 10
I
times out of
take it.
10. Maybe that should be my new gimmick. I mean, while I do We Are Live, pal, every week, I'll be like, We
Oh,
are
please don't.
live,
Please
pal.
don't. My God. Before we leave, I just want to, I hate to end this on a somber note, but I just want to give a huge condolences to the family of wrestler Jaka, who passed away this week. Really up and comer. Well, I wouldn't say up and comer, but he's been on the scene a long time. But he was wrestling on Evolve as of late, and he's a performer I really enjoyed. Passed away from a heart attack at the age of 39, which is just too goddamn young. So our from Counted Out with Mike and Tyler, we do send our condolences to the family of Jaka. That's not news we wanted to hear this week.
Absolutely.
Until next week, I don't know what we're doing next week. It's probably your list. I'm sure you'll come up.
We didn't know we were doing this week till last night. So
that's very true. Very, very true. No, because it's funny because I didn't know what the show was going to look like this week, and then I read that quote from Christian. I'm like,
well,
all right.
I also want to give everybody an update on the conversation that we closed the show with last week. It has been 7 days now, and I still have not got one item on Mike's end of year show, even though I've asked him 3 times throughout the week, four times possibly.
Because my list keeps changing, and I'm not happy with my list. I'm not happy with wrestling right now. Wrestling, I thought I loved 2025, and
so
working on my list, I don't think I love 2025 as much as I thought I did.
So just to keep the people updated, when the year end show comes and we only have 3 points on it and no guests, it's not my fault, okay? I will Gene Snitsky to list this. It is not my fault.
No, well, I thought you meant you were gonna punt my kid.
How Finn's never too young for a little sweet chin music, is he?
He's getting to that. He's getting that age where he can actually hit him.
Yeah.
He's getting that height.
I mean, we're old, so we can't get our legs up that high. So we only got a couple more years for sweet chin music before it turns into Hulk Hogan last run big boots to the shin.
It's a good idea actually to give him a sweet chin, because he used to always ask me to give him the AA or a power bomb. He's got too fucking heavy now though. I can't get him up there. I'm too old. My back hurts.
Well, you gotta get him into the ankle lock then.
There you go.
Anything but the crossface, okay? Anything but the crossface.
Come on now.
Oh, that got dark. I better take it home.
That got real dark.
I pulled a U on that one.
Woo! All right. Until next week, my loves.
Oh God. Listen,
I'm counted out.
I'm not cheersing to my loves. I'm not cheersing to my loves.